Hey everybody, welcome to the Fin Factor. I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And this is episode number 256. Off screen, of course, we have super producer Jason there. Aaron, we have some pretty cool baubles sitting in front of us, and we're going to talk about those things. But first and foremost, I'd like to ask you guys to do us a favor. If you could please send out to your Sharks friends and family, get them in the chat here. It's a lot more fun when we have more people here. And if you know people that would enjoy this, obviously if you enjoy it and you're friends with them, they'd probably enjoy it too. Get them on in here. Always a better discussion when we've got more things bouncing back and forth there. Aaron, we are sitting here with the famous now.
Infamous?
Well, I guess infamous, whatever. The sleepover baubles. Now, if you guys didn't know about the sleepover thing, they had a bet where if the three of them scored in the same game, that they would all have a sleepover together. That happened, and they made a bobblehead out of it. So a little bit smaller than the typical bauble would be, albeit, but very cool. Now, this was the giveaway that night, and Aaron has the other portion of that. There you go.
This is the Tyler Toffoli, which made it a sleepover, because last year it was the Celebrini and Smith were roommates. I don't know if they are this year, but they were already in a room together, and Toffoli got the rollaway bed and came into the room, and they had their, was it milk and cookies? I think it was. It's on,
there's
it's
cookies
on there right there.
Yeah, in the thing there's cookies there.
And so the story is that after they each scored a goal in the same game, they did the sleepover, and Toffoli took the picture, and I think he sent it to his wife. And his wife is the one that I think posted it on social media, which is, it just blew up because everyone was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did it!" And in that game, when they scored, you could see on the bench both Smith, Celebrini screaming, "Sleepover, sleepover!" They were so excited, like little kids are. So it was great. It was a good
Fantastic.
time.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, of course, is that not only do they look cool when you put them side by side, but of course to recreate the whole, and I'll put it on this side, to recreate the actual picture, you can put them together. And then, of course, it's got like it's a circle, so you can put them together, and that recreates the photo, and that is pretty much exactly how the photo looked. There you go. And I don't know why we're doing big bald guy there. Okay, so anyway, we are gonna put this right over here, center stage, and that's almost perfect. Fantastic. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into the most disappointing two games I think that I've seen in quite a while with the Sharks. And it's not disappointing because, they're so terrible. Not disappointing because of that. Disappointing because they had it. They were right there. They were in the game, both games. They went to over. They had the lead late into the game and then blew it. And we're going to talk about those two right now.
Stunk.
So we just stunk.
We stunk on the power play. We stunk on the penalty kill. We stunk 5-on-5 or 4.
Yeah. We just stunk.
Yeah.
So, the first game here against the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, this is one that I was not expecting the Sharks to really be very, very strong in. Now, but prior to, I had said this is a game that they can win.
Yes.
This is a game that they will win.
Yes.
Sometimes I say things that I don't 100% fully believe, and that was maybe one of them. However, I will say this. Before the game, I was thinking to myself, this could be, I would say, a 4-2 win for the Sharks with the empty netter. And when it was 2-1, I shared that information with Aaron. I said, before this game started, man, I was thinking 4-2 with the empty netter.
And I said it doesn't count because it's not in writing.
It's not in writing? Yeah. So it was 2-1 at the time, still. Then it goes to 3-2, and I'm thinking, man, it's going to happen. Knights pulled a goalie, and it almost happened, and then it didn't. So, Aaron, let's go ahead and jump into this one. What did you see out of this game here?
I thought, first of all, Vegas was coming off of a back-to-back. So they had played the night before. It kind of showed they're a little sluggish start of the season. The Sharks are kind of jacked up because it's their home opener in front of their fans. So I thought the Sharks looked good. They were on the puck. They were skating hard. They were doing all the things that Warsofsky is praising or trying to get them to do. So I thought they played a fantastic game minus the last minute and overtime. But we'll get to that in a second. But I thought they looked good. They looked in control. Obviously, their defense is still not quite there.
Right.
I was a little shocked that Nedeljkovic got the start here over Askarov. I thought Askarov was going to be kind of the 1A/1B to Nedeljkovic, but he did have a very strong preseason. Nedeljkovic did. So It makes sense. He outworked Askarov. They're going to be competing with one another. It is what it is. That's fine. I think if you look at, the previous week, they had just played Vegas in a preseason game, and in that game, they did not have Celebrini. But Vegas had just about everybody in their starting NHL lineup playing in that game. Granted, it was preseason, but it was telling that the Sharks were able to beat them, their normal NHL squad, playing against, I would say, the B plus A minus squad of the Sharks without Celebrini. So I was kind of expecting them and hoping that they would be able to take advantage of that back-to-back for Vegas and almost a scheduled loss because they flew into San Jose and then they played a game. And unfortunately, it's not what happened. But that I've been talking about this a lot with people. So we'll talk about the tying goal, the game-tying goal, right?
Sure. Or
even both goals. The way I explain to people, that goal is a fluke.
Well, so
right?
first of all, let's explain what happened on. It was 3-2. Okay?
Right,
3-2. Less than a minute left in the third period. Sharks are riding high. Okay?
Celebrini, it's an open net because they have their goalie pulled. Celebrini has the puck, and he's not a breakaway, but he's got a break. And there's two guys, both sides, chasing him down. He gets past the blue line, and they. What?
I think it was Eklund.
No. On Vegas Knights players were.
Okay.
No, it was Celebrini.
Okay.
And they dove and they just swept the puck away and it just missed the goal. Then Celebrini gets it and wraps it around.
Okay.
And misses. And then, but what I saw on that is Toffoli is coming. Like if they dump, he's in the slot area, right? You pass it to Toffoli, he's not going to miss that. Even with the guys in front of the net, non-goalies trying to block it, I think he's going to bury it. That was one mistake. That puck bounces out, comes back the other way. Jack Eichel takes it, dumps it in, before the blue line. Gets past the center line, dumps it in. The puck was just good on Eichel for doing this. Like, dumping it in, up high, bounces in front of Nedeljkovic. He's stuck in no man's land. Because he comes out of the net just a little bit to play it. What goalies want to do in that instance is catch it before it hits the puck, before the puck hits the ice, right? Because the bounce is going to be funky. And what happens? The bounce is funky. That kind of play you see once a season, roughly, in the entire NHL. Not per team.
Yeah.
In the entire NHL. You see that happen once. Happened to the Sharks in the first game, and it happened to be the tying goal with less than a minute left, right? Then we go to overtime.
Hey, man, get that bounce out of the way now, right? It's like if it's going to happen once, just do it now. Game one.
You live and you learn, you move on, right? Goes to overtime. Sharks have chances, goes back and forth. They get stuck on a long shift. Comes back. The puck kind of bounces out of the zone of Vegas' zone, and it's coming into the Shark zone. Gets past the blue line, but because it's overtime, they scrape the ice only, right? They don't do a resurfacing, so the puck is kind of sticks, like it's a little more stickier than normal. Kind of dies right by the blue line. Once it gets in the blue line, it just dies. Nedeljkovic skates out to get it. Very good with the puck. He kind of stumbles a little bit right before he gets it. Gets to the puck first. Beats out two Vegas players, tries to play the puck, and plays it kind of into one of the players. Bounces off of him and almost in the net, and then I forget who it was, Riley. I think Riley Smith or somebody was right there and just skated in and just knocked it in.
Stinky, smelly Golden Knights player
but yet,
was there.
Another play you see once a season in the entire NHL, a weird kind of play like that happens, and it happened twice in one game to the same team.
Extremely disappointing.
Right.
Downright embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was definitely.
And Dan and Adam here are saying it was Eki. But because I saw him try to do the wraparound, and it was definitely an Eklund style wraparound.
Yeah.
But going back to that first goal, and I had talked to my friend Caleb, who's probably watching this after the fact. Hey, Caleb, how you doing? Not him. That's not Caleb. But so I was talking with him about this, and I was saying, it's one of those things that, and we'll talk about this in the next game here with Askarov, and that certain area where he keeps getting scored on. It's not like this is a hole in Nedeljkovic's game, okay? It's not like all the teams are going, well, we scouted this guy, and we know now that if we just flip the puck from center, that it's going to bounce and go, right? This is not something that anybody works on, nor should they, because it very, very rarely ever happens anyway, right?
I wouldn't say they don't work on it or don't try it. A lot of people try it. Like, they're going to dump it in, and you're going to get a change. It's better to just try and do that
more often than not. If
they're chaos happen.
If they're ripping, they might rip it from the center line on net. But if they're flipping it and dumping it, it's usually going into a corner where the guy can't play it, and the D has to go as far as they can. So generally, no, you're not going to see that kind of weird bounce right on net, and it goes in.
Right.
Now, I think it was Nick here was saying, I'm still convinced that Nedeljkovic was trying to gather the puck and attempt a shot. Look how far out he was, 100%. I think if he sinks back into the net a little bit more, lets the bounce happen, and sees where that puck is going left or right, but he's still sunk back a little bit more, he's fine, and it doesn't go in. I do think that Nick's onto something there. I think Nedeljkovic was thinking, hell yeah, empty net, baby, right? So, again, it was one of those where he was kind of in between a decision, and he didn't quite make the right decision. It made a weird bounce. It goes in the back of the net. Again, not something you're probably ever going to see from Nedeljkovic for the rest of this season. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it's a hole in his game. Now, as far as the game winner, right? Mm-hmm. Him coming out. I do like what he said, and I think what we're going to do is listen to what he said first, and I'll just kind of
beat off walls.
And we'll listen to what he said first, and then I'll kind of reiterate it. But go ahead.
The only thing I'm going to say is good on him for coming out and addressing the media and not hiding and being like, I don't want to talk to them. He came out and answered all the questions that everybody's going to want to know, and to get the quotes for the papers the next day. So here's Nedeljkovic in his own words.
Just got caught. Just got caught in between on the third one, whether to go out and try to catch it in the air or let it bounce and hop. And usually, when you're in between at this level, bad things happen. So, and probably more of the same in overtime as well. Just wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with it. Knew I had to do something, and again, caught in between, and nothing good happened.
Is it something you just, you understand it happened, fluky bounce, something you can improve on? How do you respond to yourself to that? How do you go forward from this?
I mean, tomorrow's a new day. It sucks. We were a minute away from, 2 points in regulation there against a really good team. So to kind of lose it on 2 mental errors, pretty tough to swallow, especially after how well we played tonight. So, you got to find a way to move on somehow. Get back at it tomorrow, work on the field and pop flies and whatnot like that in practice, and just get ready for Saturday.
It's got a sense of humor
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? Move on.
And again, like to what you said, and I think Sheng had said it too in a tweet, was saying, good on him for coming out and answering those questions, facing the media. That's not an easy thing to do after having one of those weird bounces beat you. Not a very good shot by any means, right? Not even a deliberate shot, I'm sure, by any means. And something like that beats you. Good for you to come out and talk about it in front of the media, and to take responsibility for the game, whether or not it's really on him. Now, here's the thing. You take a look at the overtime goal, and he goes out to play this puck, yes, and yeah, maybe the puck died a little bit. He hesitated just a bit getting out there, right? Should I go, should I not? But I think a lot of people are trashing him for this, going, what is he doing getting all the way out there? If you look at it, it was really on the Sharks players.
Yes.
I think it was Macklin was changing at the time.
I think he was still on the ice.
He was going for it.
He was dead, though. He was
but
so tired.
If you look, there's nobody really on their way back. And the next 2 guys are Vegas Golden Knights guys. So it's like either I allow a 2-on-0, which is probably going to end up in the back of the net, or, and this is probably where the hesitation came from, or I make the choice to go, get my stick on the puck, see if I can't get us going the other way, and if I do, it's probably a 3-on-1 going the other way.
Yeah.
So I'd rather roll the dice on a 3-on-1 going that way in overtime than a 2-on-0 coming this way in overtime.
The thought process is there.
Yes.
The execution was not. And that's what happened.
And if he hadn't played that puck into a skate, we'd all be talking about how brilliant he was doing that. If he had played it off the wall instead, which I think would have been the safer play, we'd be talking about how brilliant he was in doing that. And the fact that 3-inch whatever it is puck hit however long, a foot-long skate blade instead, that sent it the other way.
A game of inches.
Yeah, and we instead of getting 2 points, we get 1 point. Honestly, it's not going to change our odds of making playoffs. So it was for me one of those things that it sucked to see because it was a repeat of the last 2 seasons where we were right there, we're leading in the third period, and we give it up and we lose. You know?
All 3 of us were at that game.
Yeah.
And when the game tying goal happened, the whole arena, the air just got sucked out of the room. The atmosphere was just like, oh, here we go again.
And I remember because I was telling you,
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD,
Yes, exactly.
right? No, I was telling Aaron, like for the past 5 minutes, whatever it was in the game, I'm like, dude, 4-2 overtime. Or 4-2 empty netter.
Yep.
4-2 empty netter. And the whistle will blow. And I go, Aaron, 4-2 empty netter. And then there's a minute left in the game, and Eki's coming down, and he's almost there to knock the puck in the net, and I'm grabbing Aaron by the arm, and I'm shaking him, 4-2 empty netter! And then he missed it, and then he missed the wrap, and then it went the other way, and they scored. And I was just like...
There's the blame right there. You know where to blame.
I was stunned. Just completely silent for the first time in my life. I was just stunned.
Yeah. Dan Moore said, I think Warsaw said something about Celebrini and Smith being out a bit too long on that. He did. I did not get that clip, but he was saying those guys were out there on a long shift. They got stuck, and it was a bad play, and the execution didn't come through.
Absolutely. But, there are some positives to take away from this.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, one thing that I said after the game, good teams find ways to win. Bad teams find ways to lose.
Yeah.
I'm not trashing the Sharks. I'm not saying they're a bad team. They're a young and up-and-coming team.
Yeah.
You got to find ways to win. You got to find ways to put that puck away on the empty netter. You got to find ways to just dump the puck, like get rid of it. Just ice the puck, Like don't let fluke bounces happen. Play it wet.
Put that back up one more time, Super
missed
Producer
that.
Jason. CJ says, how long do you think the winless streak will go? Do we go our usual 9-11 game winless streak to start the season? CJ,
We're getting there.
Stop checking our notes. Okay, we'll get
I don't want to hear about freaking fragile, okay?
We will get to that, I promise you, CJ. It's coming up. But some good takeaways from this game, okay? We had Skinner, Kurashev, and the Swedish model turned hockey player, Alex Wenberg. That is I'm securing my masculinity. That is a beautiful man, okay?
Yeah.
He's a good-looking dude. He gets on the board, too. We love Wenberg on this show.
Yes.
I think fantastic for him. And then again, who's the other one? We just say Kurashev.
Yeah.
Great to see Kurashev getting on the board nice and early in the season.
I thought he looks good on that line with Smith and Celebrini.
Yeah.
Just gels with them perfectly.
Yep.
The chemistry is clearly there. Mm-hmm. So I think, again, big things for him this season, I think. I think he can get back to that 50-point mark.
That is the goal. That is the hope, is that he gets back to form and he's able to do it with, a much better player to play alongside than Bedard in Celebrini. So good on him. And then, of course, as I had said, the first one there, Jeff Skinner. Now, Aaron, let's go back to our episode, I think it was just last week, where we talked about who we think is going to be leading the Sharks in goals. I cannot help but notice that Jeff Skinner gets the goal here. And a certain Tyler Toffoli does not. I love Tyler Toffoli, don't get me wrong, okay? But I might be right on this one. Yeah, he does, but we'll talk about the next game in just a minute. However, other good things to happen in this game, not even in the game, it's the people, Aaron. The people.
Yes.
We met a couple people.
We did meet
and we have
people.
a picture, I believe.
We do.
Okay.
Right here is a picture of Adam. Adam, we were standing in line to get the Toffoli bobblehead because you had to purchase that separately. And he came up to us and was a big fan of the show and was excited to see us. And so we're like, hey, let's take a picture. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So he took a picture and then he sent us this. So thank you. It's good to see you, Adam.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Adam's in the chat.
I don't know if he still is. He was earlier.
He was in the chat.
Well, I think he's still there.
All right, good.
He's actually just said, as they say, champions have short memories. Too bad we aren't champions yet, so we're probably not going to forget this one for a while. We also saw Victor.
Yes.
Victor was there. His name is in YouTube is Crichton. I don't know if he's there tonight.
Crichton, yes.
Crichton.
Not just Crichton. Member Crichton.
Member Crichton. I was going to say he is a member. He is a subscribed member to our show.
Very good.
And we got to see him. I think it was in between the second and third period. So if you would like to be like Crichton or Victor, you can become a channel member today. You get perks for $2.99 a month. You just click join on our channel page and you can get there. And then each month, I think you unlock something every time you are, you basically every month you get something, kind of a new emoji or something. We're going to be working on some special things for you guys, for the members, as that's starting to grow now. In fact, we are thinking we're going to be doing an episode with the cards. We're going to open up the 2 boxes of cards that we have. I don't know if they're still there.
Yeah, I got one right here. Yeah, so there's one of them.
And if we get any of the Sharks cards, this is from previous seasons, so
Yeah,
it'll be Will Smith and Celebrini's rookie cards.
The young guns,
Yes.
Celebrini and Smith should be in here.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. So those will be some giveaways for you guys.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that was it for that game.
Yeah.
Just disappointing. It really sucks when you leave the arena and it's a loss, because when it's a win, man, the crowd, the atmosphere is just electric.
So I love when it's a win, and I can handle when it's a loss when it's very clear that we're going to be losing this game, right? Third period, you're down by 3 already, and it's just like, all right, eat the popcorn and just try to enjoy, and just you walk out, okay, fine, whatever, right? Okay. Oh, by the way, Crichton is here. Hey, Crichton, how you doing, buddy? So what bugs me, and Adam's still in the chat. Yes, sir, there you go. So what bugs me, though, is when we're right there and we're leading, and you're thinking, oh man, we're gonna come out with a dub, and then it just gets the parade gets rained on.
I just feel like it was stolen. Right?
Exactly.
Like the game, they played so well, and then you leave there without 2 points.
Now imagine if we were down 3-2.
Right.
We came back to tie it.
Right.
And then we lose it. Then you don't feel as bad.
No, you don't feel as bad.
Right? You feel like you stole a point.
Yeah. It feels like this game is stolen, and it's also embarrassing because all of the casual fans, I'll say, of the Sharks who aren't really watching the game, but they're going to see the top 10 gaffes, right? And they're like, oh, of course it's the Sharks.
Yeah.
And then they want to talk to me about it, but they have no idea. They didn't watch the game.
Right.
They didn't see it. They're just like, oh, same old Sharks, lost again.
And to be fair, for 59 minutes, Nedeljkovic looked pretty good. For 59 minutes, he looked pretty good, and it took a pop fly taking a bounce for him to crumble, right?
Yeah.
And for him to make a decision based off of his teammates not really having his back and playing defense on 3-on-3 in the OT and giving him a 2-on-0 to have to deal with on his own. That's what it took for him to look bad. So you know what? Again, the prediction that we had, who's going to be the Sharks' top goalie, I'm feeling pretty good about my pick of Nedeljkovic there.
Yeah, that's pretty good, actually.
So, yeah,
I forgot you did
not
that.
Not bad. Now, moving on to the second game, Aaron's pick for top goalie gets the start in this one.
Ugh.
Askarov. Now, this is also only a 1-goal loss. I don't know why you're going, buh, right?
Because he let in 7.
Okay, that is why. That is exactly why he said, buh. He let in quite a few.
Yes.
And I think with this one, there is a hole in Askarov. There is a hole in a certain part of his game.
Marina just said, could Askarov not handle those Rockets, or is it just me? Yeah. Is it 2 goals, right? Under his blocker?
There was at least 2 that went under the blocker side. Now, they had said that 7 hole. I looked this up, and it says under the blocker is 6 hole. 5 hole is right between the legs, right? So this is the number of hole, right? So 6 hole is under the blocker. They were saying 7, and I think it's because he's a right-hand catch. And I think that's why. Otherwise, it would be...
stays on the side.
Maybe it stays. I'm not sure. I don't know. I only know 5 hole. The rest of the hole, I don't know. But regardless, it's the hole that's essentially underneath his blocker arm. So right through here. And with him being a right-handed catch, that's on his left-hand side, obviously.
You know what's funny? He's not left-handed. Normally you'd see a right-handed catch because they're left-handed. But he didn't grow up playing baseball. Most of the goalies grow up playing baseball from North America, right?
Yeah.
So they're used to catching with their left so they could throw with their right. But he only played hockey, goalie, so that's why he caught with his right, because he's right-handed, and it's a strong hand. That's because they asked in an interview, do you think you have an advantage having a catch with the right hand? And he laughed and said, no. If anything, it's harder. Because for one, growing up, it was impossible to get gear. Like you had to special order it, and it took forever, and it cost more. Like it was just more expensive, and just took forever. So he was like, I don't recommend it.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Right.
There you go. This one of note: Sam Dickinson makes his NHL debut. Gets the solo lap before the game. Always fun to see somebody doing that one there. What did you think about Dickinson in this game?
He only had 17 shifts for 11:59, so almost 12 minutes, right? Okay. Gets a +1 in a game where they lose 7-6. That's not bad, right? That's pretty good. That's a positive there. I thought he did okay. You know, it was a good first game for him. Not expecting him to get 20+ minutes a night, so it's a good introduction for don't forget, a teenager. And how young is this guy? Let's put up the Darren Stevens post here. This is from Blue Sky. Darren Stevens, Sam Dickinson, at age 19 years and 126 days, is the second youngest Sharks defenseman at the time of his NHL debut and the youngest in 32 years. Vlastimil Krupa, there's a blast from the past, was age 18 and 162 days in his debut on October 6th, 1993 at the Oilers. That's a young guy in the NHL.
Can I just say, I really appreciate Darren Stevens.
Yes.
If you're not following him on Blue Sky or X or wherever other platforms, you definitely need to. He's always got tweets like this or posts like this, I should say, and they are fantastic. A lot of like baseball stat kind of stuff, like weird, obscure thing, but it's really interesting stuff. Definitely, if you're not following him, give him a follow. He's fantastic. As far as Dickinson goes, kind of what you expect on a first game, some jitters, not a whole lot of minutes, totally fine with that. Get him in there, get him kind of used to the speed a little bit, right? He had his buddy Darren A with him, yes?
Yep.
Okay. So we saw that those pairings kind of going through the preseason. And anyway, he gets out there. I think he did a pretty decent job for his NHL debut. Good for him. That's done and out the way. Now we'll see how many more he gets. If he gets kind of the Will Smith treatment, which I imagine will be the case.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of defensemen. One got sent, and we'll talk about that later on too. But we do have a lot of defensemen on this NHL roster. It's a good opportunity for him to get into the lineup, out of the lineup. Everybody else can still get some playing time. He gets introduced to the show without being completely overwhelmed. I think it's a good thing for him.
I will say, did you see Revo's goal?
Oh, baby.
That was a goal scorer's goal there. That was not a bruiser's goal.
I don't know.
He took that puck and he drove it to the net and cut it in. Oh, it was great. I'm saying it was great. Like, he impressed me with
this is the big
his
man
speed
and
the way he cut it into the, and, cut it at the angle and took it to the net instead of, it looked like he was just going to go around or rim it around kind of thing. And he drove it to the net and shot it and scored.
Yeah.
His second game as a Shark gets a goal.
I'm telling you right now. What did I say? What did I say about Revo?
He was going to have more goals than, who was it? John Scott?
Well, okay.
Is it two?
He's halfway there, right? He's halfway there. No, someone was saying he's going to have more goals than Noah Gregor this season, which was, I didn't say that. I didn't say
he's
that. He's
already doing it.
Okay. So, the nice thing about Revo there, the guy is throwing his body around, doing what he's supposed to do. He drops the gloves, right? Does a fantastic job dropping the gloves, getting a good fight in there. The guy drives the net. First of all, he was coming up the wall. It's not like he was coming through the middle and the puck just got to him and he bullied his way there. He was coming up the wall. And then he cut to the net. Good on him, lowering the shoulder a little bit there, getting towards that post. And then I don't even know where exactly the puck went in. He just willed it into the net. Fantastic. Great job on Revo there. I'm telling you, I'm liking this guy just a little bit more and more the more that I see him playing now. We saw him a little bit in the preseason, right? And being able to see him now with the regular season games, especially with dropping the gloves and getting the fight. How
bad did he want that assist?
I know, right? The Gordy. Yeah, so, again, good on Revo. I'm very happy for the guy. Now, the other ones here, and we'll just go through them here. It's Skinner gets his second in as many games.
Right.
So he's on pace for 82, right?
82.
We're not on 84. Next
season's
84. He's on pace for 82. Okay, I'm not saying he's going to get there because he won't, but he's on pace. All right. Now, of note, your boy, Tyler Toffoli, picks one up as well.
Absolutely.
He's on pace for 41, which you said 40.
I said 40.
Okay.
So he's on pace.
He is on pace. Now, I personally hope he does get to 40. I would love to be wrong on this. And if Tyler Toffoli can outscore Jeff Skinner and get to 40 goals, fantastic. Okay. But the numbers don't lie. Skinner's got 2 right now, so I think he's a little bit closer to getting to his goal.
The problem with Skinner, he's going to get traded.
Oh.
And he's not going to be in the Sharks. He's going to have less ice time. He's not going to get there.
Hey, man, if he wants to score 35 goals and then get traded, I'm fine with that, too.
Right.
How about that? So, anyway, yes, we got Skinner, Toffoli, Revo, and then, oh, my God, Det gets on the board. Fantastic.
I like his game, man.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I think that was a kind of an underrated signing there by Mike Greer. Him and Kirishchev, I think both of those guys were kind of dumpster bin by the other GMs in the league, and he picked them up and said, you know what, these guys are good and they can play, and we're gonna put them in our lineup because they are good. And I think it's worked out great so far.
And I want to say, so after that was Klingberg and Ferraro also picked up goals. good on the two defensemen getting on the board nice and early in the season, get this goal scoring coming. You know, for Klingberg, it's kind of what he's there to do. He's there to help provide that offense, especially on the power play, right?
It was a 5-on-3, I believe.
I believe it was, yes.
And they had one in the game that we were at, the first game. So I feel like that has improved significantly.
Their power play.
The 5-on-3.
Okay.
If you remember last year, like they had a bunch of 5-on-3s and could not score. They didn't move the puck well enough. Now they're going side to side. They're moving it and getting shots, and it's working, and they're scoring. I think it's a good start on the power play, at least.
Yeah, and honestly, the second unit looks really good too. I think both power play units really do have a good, strong opportunity to score, especially if the first unit is getting their top PKers out there, and the second unit is still good enough, but they're getting the below average PKers coming out to replace them. I think they've got a good opportunity to put the puck in the net as well. So something to look forward to as the season goes on. But I do want to make note, Skinner, Toffoli, wingers that are supposed to be scoring, they're getting the goals, they're on two different lines, and then you look at the other two forwards was the fourth liners, Gaudette and Revo. So you're getting goal scoring all the way up and down the lineup, which is fantastic to see. It's not just front loaded, it's not just Macklin or Eklund or just Toffoli, right?
I feel like last year it was one top line, right? And then maybe a half a line that was doing okay. This year I feel like they have two full scoring lines and another half a line that's dangerous. But more importantly, that they have two good power play lines. So if one's not doing it, you send out the other one and they might actually get a chance and score, which they have been. So I think it's a more balanced offensively. I think this team is in a much better space than they were a year ago. Obviously better than 2 years ago. But it's just every year is improving, and next year is going to be even better.
Even better,
because you're going to be adding Musty and Chernyshov probably at that point as regulars, and who knows who else is going to be surprising next year. But yeah, this team is definitely on the up and up on the offense. They're
shaping up.
Good. Yes.
Absolutely shaping up. Of note, also in this game, Celebrini and Smith. Somebody said Milk and Cookies. That's the nickname. That's adorable, and thank you for that. Milk and Cookies get 3 assists each. Fantastic job by the youngsters. I'm sure some of those one was the primary and one was the secondary, so it might only be for a couple of goals. But still, for them to be contributing to their teammates, helping their teammates score, that's what you like to see from these guys, these younger guys. Not always trying to do it themselves. Go ahead and make the play to the guys that are open and available. Get them going. Get on the score sheet. And let's not worry about who it is that gets the points. Let's worry about that we as a team get the points.
I think, and I know this is going to open up a can of worms here, but
oh boy,
Will Smith
is,
I think, a very underrated offensive player in the league. In the league. I don't think he's getting enough respect in the league because Celebrini's overshadowing him most of the time for other things. But I think his playmaking ability, his goal scoring is great, his wrist shot's amazing, but his playmaking, like the assist that he gave to Foley, the soft saucer pass, perfectly on a stick, to Foley just, as he's skating the net, just shoots it. And it was perfectly weighted pass to him. It was just like, wow. I don't think there's anyone else on the Sharks, even Celebrini, that could weight a pass like that and hit him perfectly in stride like that. It's just, to me, he's going to be kind of an under-the-radar, sneaky 60-plus points where I don't think a lot of people in the NHL are kind of expecting it. That's what I think.
Okay. I definitely think there are other players that can make that pass. But the fact that Smith can make that pass and did make that pass, fantastic. I will go ahead and look at an article, I believe it was by Sheng Peng from a couple days ago, and what Warsofsky was saying that he wants out of Smith, and that is more consistency. So it's nice that he made that pass. However, we also saw several times Smith trying to make a pass from blue line to blue line with a defender in between, and there was no sauce involved. It was just a rocket of a pass, which would have been completely on the mark.
I think he'd see the defender,
but you got to be able to see those things, and that's where the consistency needs to come into play. And I've had this criticism of Will Smith for a while now, and you guys all know I think he cheats for offense a lot. And for me, those long stretch passes, just hoping for that break, is part of that. Instead of just doing the work of skating the puck, trying to out-muscle somebody now and then where you can, where you probably should be able to. He doesn't want to have to deal with physicality. He would much rather just unload the puck as soon as humanly possible. That, to me, is a detriment in his game. But I think Aaron is correct here in saying that he is one of the better offensive minds in the game, at least for the Sharks right now. And he's only going to get better. So I'm looking forward to his development because his development needs to include other such things than just being able to pass the puck, being able to shoot the puck. I believe in that article they had said Warsofsky wants him to be more reliable in certain situations like the 3-on-3, which we saw did not end well for the Sharks 2 games in a row, and it was the only 2 games we've had so far this season. So I think he wants more consistency out of him and less of the like kind of home run passes and that kind of stuff. He wants to know that, can I put you in situations where you can still battle through and not be so easy to get pushed off of the puck? Can I put you in situations where you're going to be a dog and go get that guy and go get that puck for me, as opposed to just kind of skating up and mirroring and shadowing, right? He kind of tends to mirror people with the stick out and just doing this instead of attacking it like most other guys in the NHL would do. So I'm hoping that is part of his development, and it will be, I'm sure, and it should be. But right now, he's missing that.
Will Smith has a trajectory, right?
Yes.
And he's getting better, and it's improving, and he's working on things. I think the problem is you have Celebrini, who's up here. And so you look at it and you go, why can't you be like this guy? And he's on his way up. It's a very different player, a different game.
When you say you're talking about
in general,
the
not you.
Certainly not me.
You.
Yeah, no.
No, my point is Celebrini is such a phenom. Like he's not a normal, not a rookie now, but not a normal young player in the NHL.
And you try to compare anybody to him, Connor Bedard, for instance.
Exactly.
You try to compare anybody to him, and it's a losing battle.
So I feel like I don't want to say unfair is the right word, but Will Smith is lumped in with Celebrini all the time because they started together. Well, I mean, they started together a year apart. They played against each other in college, all that stuff. But he was a 4th overall pick for a reason. He is very good and is going to be an extremely good player in the NHL. Yeah. But his arc is just going to take a little bit longer than where Celebrini is, because Celebrini is just that much better than... Like, forget rookie, forget young player. Yeah. Better than most veterans, right? Like, his work ethic is insane on top of the skill that he has. So, I think Will Smith gets a little bit beat up a little bit more than he should. That's all.
Okay.
Not by you. No, I mean, in general.
No, he does. He gets beat up by me. He does. And I'll admit that. Absolutely. I'm hard on Will Smith. But part of it is because he was a 4th overall pick. It's not because he doesn't compare to Celebrini. It's because if you're going to get picked that high, I would expect to see more than just, I'm only caring about offense and I don't want to deal with anybody getting too close to me, right? If you get too close to me, I'm going to pass this puck away or give it away or whatever. And if you have the puck and I want it, I'm going to ask politely. And if you don't give it to me, then I guess I don't get the puck today. Like, to me, that is his downfall. And again, I'm picking on him, but that for me is his problem. As soon as he gets past that, as soon as he decides to get out of his comfort zone and play a more physical game, and I don't mean Revo physical. I don't want anybody confusing that. When I say physical, I mean I'm coming after you, and I will battle you for that puck. Yeah, this guy right here, he knows about physical.
Using the body.
Yes.
And positioning.
Go through the hands. I'm not even saying try to put him in the 3rd row, but you should be at least like putting your body through their hands when you're playing the stick.
Right.
My son does this all the time. He's stick, and I tell him, stop playing Harry Potter. You're not. This doesn't work, right? Doing this does not work, Zorro. You need to get your body in there. And
he doesn't know who Zorro is.
No, I'm saying to the people at home. Anyway, so this doesn't work. You need to get your body in there and separate from puck. That does not mean you have to be stronger or more physical or hit the weight rooms more than anybody else. It only means that you have to have a want and a desire for it. And right now, that's not what I see out of Will Smith. And I'm hoping that comes, and I know that it will. It's just annoying right now.
The guy and his dog. Smith will need time to get the physical part of the game down.
Yes.
I feel like next year he'll fill out completely and find his physical side. Then he'll explode.
So, and on the topic of filling out completely, and then we'll move on. Macklin, again, we're not comparing him to Boy Wonder. No, we're not comparing
just by
him to
himself, Celebrini.
But if I just look at Celebrini, or just look at Eklund, or just look at even Kurashev, who's the Russian and doesn't want anything to do with being physical. All of these guys are still going to attack the puck carrier, right? All these guys do it, and I just don't see that out of Smith.
Noticeable difference, different topic.
Sure.
Celebrini.
Yes.
Noticeably bigger. Like,
bulked up a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
he's on the Phil Kessel diet. He's eating those hot dogs.
Right, but he seems heavier on the puck and off the puck. Like, hitting guys, he was not shy. And he was laying some hits down where he was actually bumping them.
And
right?
do you think that has anything to do with him going to the weight room or him putting on muscle? Do you think
Yes.
that has anything to do with that? No,
Well,
because even last year he was doing it.
No,
It's
but
all about this right
my
here.
point is his hits are actually pushing
Yeah.
the people over. They
Sure.
weren't just, he wasn't a mosquito bouncing off of him, right?
Right.
He was actually doing some work and knocking some people around.
Yes.
I was impressed with it. Because it was always, the work ethic was always there. He was always putting the body in, but now it's actually, because he's getting
more
bigger.
effective, you're saying.
Yeah, he's getting bigger, and it is from the weight room. Like,
Right.
he gained, I want to say he gained 6 pounds, 7 pounds, I
Yeah.
can't remember, of muscle. Will Smith did too, but he's getting to that point in his game. Anyway, that was just different.
We talked about them getting their assists. I wanted to highlight the other
Okay.
guys that got their points.
Sorry.
So I think on this game we had Orlov with a pair. Yeah, and then Gaudette picked one up as well.
So he had 2 points. He had a goal and assist. Yep.
Good for Gaudette. I
Yes.
love seeing, especially the fourth line guys. I love seeing those guys, the hard
Everybody
workers, the blue collar guys getting
Everybody
on the board.
on the Sharks team
Yeah.
loves when the fourth line guys chip in.
Absolutely.
They're always like, oh, that's awesome. Like, they're always excited for them. You see how excited when Reeves scored his goal. How nuts everybody on the ice went. Because they know those are so few and far in between. There's a chance that could be his last NHL goal. Think about that.
Yeah.
Because this might be his last season. He does not score that many goals. We're hoping for 2 in the season, right? That could be it. That he could be done for his career. We might see the last goal he might score ever.
Sorry, it was the way you said two.
Well, he might
Looking for two.
right. But I mean, like, he's gonna celebrate each
Yeah.
goal that he gets
Yeah.
like it's his last, because it might be.
I'm telling you, that's not his last goal. The big man is going to put the puck in the net a few more times this season. He's going to do the same thing, as I said, that Big John Scott did, right?
Yes.
He had 2 goals his whole career, came to San Jose and doubled his output with 2 more goals for a total of 4 goals on his entire career. I'm not saying Reeves is going to double his goal output from the rest of his career, but the man's going to go out there and he's going to score a handful. So look forward to it, because it's happening. And anytime you can get the big man putting the puck in the net, you get the big man celly as well.
Absolutely.
And you said, hey, how about the guys on the ice celebrating and jumping around?
So excited.
Hey, how about this? How about this? How about all the San Jose Sharks fans that hated Ryan Reeves just a few years ago, right? And all of a sudden, everybody's jumping up and down out of their seats.
All it
cheering
takes
for him.
is one fight, which he
takes
did,
one.
and a goal.
And a goal.
he did it in one game.
And he looks so good in teal.
Yes,
Just,
he
I mean,
does.
who doesn't, quite frankly? Anyway, so good on Revo.
We have something here. So
Yeah.
for the last 2 games, I have something good, something bad, and something ugly.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start with the good. The good. The Sharks. We have a little chart here. They are 5th in the NHL for time on ice with a lead at 66 minutes and 58 seconds. They are 5th in the league with a lead. This is unbelievable. Prior year, last year, after 2 games, this is also unbelievable. They were 43 minutes and 49 seconds with a lead. Remember, they went winless in their first 9 games. They won their 10th game last season. So
Just look at the company, first of all.
yes, Florida Panthers, New York Rangers, Colorado Avalanche, Boston Bruins are ahead of them. Boston Bruins kind of a surprise here, because they were expecting them to be a non-playoff team.
How much of a surprise are the Sharks are right behind them, though?
Right.
I mean, come on.
But and the Penguins too. I'd say the Penguins are a surprise
absolutely.
too.
Better than the Oilers.
What I didn't mark is how many games they played. Some of these teams have played 3 games.
Oh, okay.
Sharks had only played 2. So percentage-wise, I'm not sure what that turns out to.
Yeah.
They might be even leading. Last year, they were 20th at this point after 2 games. I mean, it's a very small sample size here.
Sure, 2 games.
But still, this is how good they've been playing in these 2 games, even though they have 2 overtime losses. Okay, next chart. The trailing chart. The Sharks and Edmonton are the only 2 teams that have never trailed in a game. And yet, they've lost 2 games.
This season and of a 2-game sample size.
Still.
But yes, absolutely, you're right.
They have not been behind yet in the season, in these 2 games.
Yeah.
They were leading or tied the entire time
Yes.
until overtime.
Yes. And
That
that's
just-
why it hurts so much that we have 2 overtime.
This is why it's so painful right now. It's like they're doing everything except getting the win.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Okay.
Just like last season, man.
So last season, this is crazy.
Yeah.
They went winless, right? They won their 10th game.
Yeah.
Last year, at this point, they were trailing only 9 minutes. They lost the first game in, I think, overtime.
Yeah.
They were winning 4-1 and ended up losing that game, blowing the game into overtime. So they actually never trailed in that game. The second game, they lost. The other team didn't score until the 3rd period. So it was 0-0 all the way to the 3rd period. Then they scored, and then they
There
got
was
an empty
7 minutes
netter, and they
left,
lost
yeah.
2-0.
Yeah.
So 9 minutes
Or 9
of
minutes,
trailing,
yeah.
and they were 7th. So we're going to ask this question a little bit in the roll call, but are we on the same pace for last year to start off the season with a 10-game losing
We will
streak?
ask that question when it's appropriate. When it's appropriate, Aaron.
Okay, you have a chart for the next
Yeah,
one
I
here.
do. There's a chart. So this is points by. They had this actually on the broadcast, and I thought it was interesting. So I went and found the stats elsewhere myself. So points by defenseman per team. Now, don't worry about the games played, because essentially all that means is, like for instance, the Panthers has 18 games played. That just means there was 6 defensemen that played, and each defenseman played 3 games. 6 times 3, 18. For the Sharks, Stars, and Lightning, it was only 2 games. Again, 6 defensemen. So that's how they were doing it. Don't worry about the games play column. But the main point here is the big red one. Okay, the Stars have 10 points from defensemen so far this season. The Sharks are tied with the Florida Panthers for second with 9 points by defensemen so far this season. Now, again, a very small sample size, only 2 games. But the Panthers actually have 3 games.
I mean, that's 9 goals
Yeah.
in the 2 games, so a point.
Well, no, 9 points.
Sorry.
Yeah, so-
I'm saying the Sharks have scored 9 goals in the season so far.
Okay.
So they have a point per game, or per goal, by a defenseman.
Sure. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. The way I would just say it is, God, the defense is really chipping in here.
Yeah.
Like, holy balls. Yeah, I mean, so, like, you've got, with Klingberg is doing a fantastic job on the point. Orlov doing a fantastic job. Ferraro picked up a goal, right? Right. Go ahead.
Look, Orlov has 3 assists on the season.
Yes.
Him, Smith, and Celebrini all have 3 points. 3 assists, actually. And then Klingberg's goal and assist, and Mook Medulin.
I was going to say
2
Mook
assists.
Medulin. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. They took Mook out for Dickinson.
A lot of people didn't like that.
Yeah, and do you know why?
No.
I did not grab this chart. Somebody, I think it was on either X or Blue Sky, I can't remember, posted a chart of Mook Medulin, and he is in the 90th percentile of clearing out the net in front. Big difference, right, between the Vegas game and the Anaheim game in terms of goals scored against.
Yeah.
The defense was different. And then a lot of that is Mook Medulin. Mook Medulin is a very good, he's a two-way defenseman because he can play the puck, but he's a very good defensive defenseman. So he's going to be kind of the future defensive stalwart, I think, on this team.
Yeah.
And in fact, this season. So hopefully he gets into the lineup a little bit more. Now, I know Dickinson, we really wanted to see him play, but I didn't want him to tag on Mook Medulin to do it. So who knows? And I don't know if he got a little banged up in that first game.
Could be.
Who knows? And they just said, take a break. We're going to put Dickinson in.
But I do like what you said. He's going to be more of that kind of defensive stalwart of the future for the Sharks, because you've got Dickinson, who's kind of a little bit more on the two-way side. Luka, if he ends up playing up, I really got my fingers crossed for this guy, who's going to be much more on the offensive side. Mook's going to be much more on the defensive side. That's 3 young guys on the blue line that are going to be driving your team for the next however many years. And you can always fill in with those veterans through free agency or whatever else the case may be, right? So I think the Sharks are in a pretty good spot on the blue line, whereas even just a year ago, 2 years ago, there was a lot of questions about whether or not the Sharks needed to do X, Y, Z to improve their blue line. Now, again, in this game, 7 goals go in, so defensively the team didn't do a fantastic job. But again, defense is a 5-man unit in front of the goalie. So you can't just blame the 2 guys that are slated as defensemen, right? So again, very promising for the future of the Sharks blue line here. A few guys that are very young and fulfill different roles that could be stepping up and doing having very big roles with the team going forward.
Yep. All right, I have another chart here. This is the last of the good. Then we'll get to the bad and the ugly. This is the shots on goal map. I got this from the NHL Edge, and it gives you a chart, a location on the offensive zone of where the shots are coming from. And again, these are shots on goal, not shots taken. The light blue means they're in the middle of the pack in terms of where they are in the rest of the league. The dark blue is they're leading the league in the top 10. And the squiggly lines, or the horizontal, or the diagonal lines are they're in the bottom half of the league. That's how that's going. So net front presence, 6 shots. They're in the top 10 of the league. Yeah. And they like to take those shots. Look at that it is. Like face-off circle on the right side, right? There's 9 of them from there. Is that Eklund's kind of shot area?
I know.
Foley?
On the power play, that looks more like where Macklin would be taking those 1-2s.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's kind of interesting that's a big difference. That's where most of their shots are coming from, that right side face-off circle.
It'd be interesting to see the heat map for the Capitals, especially on the power
Yes.
play. It's everything's on the
red
left.
circle on the left.
87 shots
Yes.
on the side there, or whatever
Yeah.
it is. So that's interesting, and I love that they've got 6 shots from in that tight. Right, they're able to blow their way to the net. Fantastic, good on them.
That could be tips too, like they're in front of the net and getting tips in there. I'm going to keep track of this when we do our show every week to kind of show that how it's going to change, because obviously this is 2 games. It's not a lot of data here, but it's what I like to see is where they were compared to the rest of the league, and if they're leading in any categories or anything. All right, that was so much for the good. Now we're getting to the bad. Here's the bad. We have 2 overtime losses to show, obviously, and we have a graphic here for zone time on ice. This is not good. Now, I made the comment in the game. I thought the Sharks looked like they had more offensive zone time than Vegas did at a certain point in that game.
Okay.
But I am clearly wrong, because the offensive zone, the NHL average is 41.1%. The Sharks are at 36.2%. They are dead last right now in offensive zone time on ice. Defensive zone, again, almost last. They are second to last at 31st. The NHL average is 41.1%. They are at 45%, so they're spending a little bit more time. That looks like that could get under the average sooner. Neutral zone, they're actually 6th. I don't know if that's good or bad. That's neither. That's like a tie and kissing your sister.
It's stuck in limbo.
Stuck in limbo. Almost leading the league in the neutral zone. Cool. I guess at least we're getting it out of the defensive zone. Now, I didn't get a chance to compare it to last season, because I know last season they were apparently really bad. Like, there is the second to last place, and then there were the Sharks like way over here. Yeah. So I think they are closing that gap. They're just not quite there yet, but I think it is way better. Oh, Polkamp had a hat trick.
Yeah, I saw that too. Polkamp got a hat trick yesterday. Good on him, man. That's the other guy that on the defensive side. I wanted to save a little bit of time there, but thanks for bringing him up anyway. Polkamp is one of those guys that is kind of one of my favorites right now. I'm very much looking forward to his development and how far he projects, and hopefully he gets an opportunity with the Sharks sooner than later, because I really do think he's going to be a big difference maker on this team on the blue line.
I would not be surprised once his season is done.
Yeah,
he's going to be signing his entry-level contract
with
the Sharks, and then we might even see him play
That'd be great.
that last, week or two is left of the season, or of the Sharks season.
There you go. Guy in his dog said the same thing right there.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
He has to sign it, or he becomes a free agent.
Yeah.
So the Sharks have to sign it. I'm sure they're going to sign him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the only reason they wouldn't sign him is if Polkamp says, I don't want to sign.
Yes.
But I don't think that's going to happen. Now, we do know he was in camp, or he was at the rookie camp, right? And he played phenomenal in that rookie camp.
Yes.
And he said he wanted to go back to win an NCAA championship because he wanted to go back with his buddies and play and win. And obviously, look at the Sharks roster right now. He probably wasn't going to be good enough to make the Sharks roster this season. Yeah. So why not finish it out with your buddies? If anything, you're going to come back here, get a taste of the NHL, get your entry-level contract. Probably next year, he might be bouncing between the CUDA and the Sharks. But it also depends on what the Sharks' right-handed defenseman look like next year.
No, for sure. Like I said, I'm very much looking forward to him putting Teal on in one way or the other, whether that's the AHL or the NHL. I don't care. I like the guy a lot. I think his game is fantastic. So we'll go from there. Okay, Aaron, there was any more of the bad you're talking about? Or
no more bad, but the ugly is
so worse than bad.
Worse than bad. The game-tying goals given up with 34 seconds and 51 seconds left. In back-to-back games. That is brutal. Absolutely brutal. And it cannot happen. They just, again, last season, they led the league with 1-goal losses.
Yeah.
Take away the empty netters, but the 1-goal loss, the close games, they were over 31 games, I think, that were like that. If you take half those games, I keep saying half those games, that is a 30-point improvement in the standings. It's going to be a big jump. This is right here, 2 games. They should have 4 points with 2 regulation wins, and they have 2 points with 0 regulation or overtime wins. That's
extremely
brutal.
Disappointing. Downright embarrassing.
It's funny, in this clip, he looks so much younger because he's aged so much in one season of stress. Stress is an unbelievable ager. It is incredible.
Yeah.
He looks so much older already this season. Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. Let's move on to the roll call. Aaron, go ahead.
Yes.
By the way.
All right, roll call. Tell us in the chat what city you're watching us from, and do you think the Sharks are going to be winless in October again, almost like last season, and definitely like 2 years ago, or do you think they're going to pull it together, Aaron?
CJ, if you're still in the chat, told you. Bringing this one up. Yeah. Do you think that they're going to be winless in October? No. For me, no. I don't see it. You've got games like these where bad things happened that are not normal, very out of the ordinary, right? At least in that first game. That was very fluke, kind of weird thing, right? Freaky Friday kind of looking thing. It happened two times in one game. Yep. That's ridiculous. So, no, I think the Sharks already should have picked up a win. I don't think that they're going to go winless in October. I think that they continue to play the way that they have been playing and clean up a few things on the defensive side just a little bit. And if you do that, we're going to pick up a win in October for the first time in a long time.
Yep. I agree. I think we're going to see the first win this week.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but for the upcoming games.
Yeah,
but I think we're going to see a win here.
Yeah.
I think they're hungry. I think they know what they need to do, and I think there's only so much, like, how much can you change of their game, really? It's lock it down at the end.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they got to change. Everything else seemed like the game plan was working.
Yeah.
They were winning. They were ahead both games. They were never behind. So finish it out.
And I wonder if it's a problem of, when the game's going on and they're following their plan and everything is fine, that they take the lead and they're good, right? They execute the game plan and they're good. But then when it comes crunch time, the other teams are kind of getting outside of the norm of and they just ratchet it up just a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And we're still kind of going at, okay, this is what got us here. We're still good. As opposed to kind of ratcheting it up a little bit more as well. Not going for offense necessarily, but again, kind of that extra bit of pressure, that extra bit of aggression, that extra bit of just taking a little bit more time and space away that they're trying to gain on you, right? There was that goal, I think it was the tying goal, where there was a player coming in, takes a shot, there's another player behind them, and it's like, where are the Sharks? Where are they?
Yep.
And there wasn't as hard back checking to get there to tie up a stick or whatever else. We saw Klingberg shaking his head after that one goal. Mm-hmm. He tipped it in front of the net. Yeah, maybe he had one hand on the stick and there's only so much to do, but I need to take that guy's stick out of the equation.
Yep.
If he does that, that's all it is. Just take the guy's stick out of the equation. Details. And it's up here. It's not like it's on the ice.
Small details.
Just little things. Yeah. So I think we're right there. We're on the doorstep of being able to pick up that win. We already should be 2-0 right now, right? 4 points instead of 2. I think that the Sharks have a really good opportunity this week, and we're going to see the games they have to play. Good opportunity this week to pick one up, as you said, but certainly in the month of October, I don't think this team goes 10 games, 11 games, or whatever it is, without picking up a W.
Question here I don't even have in our notes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Michael Misa real quick.
Yes.
Is he going to get in the lineup this week?
Yes.
And what do you think he's going to bring to the table? And who are you going to pull out of the lineup to put him in?
So I feel like there was a quote coming up about Michael Misa, and maybe I would rather save it for that. But yeah, it is. There is.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him now. What's he going to bring? Jitters. He's going to bring jitters. Mm-hmm. It's going to be his first time playing in the NHL level. First time playing against grown adult men because he's used to Saginaw spirit, right? So it's going to be one of those games, I think his first game is going to be one of those games where, yeah, he's probably going to be extremely nervous. He's probably not going to look very good right out of the chute. That's okay. I'm totally fine with that. What I will say is this. He may bobble the puck. He may shoot and miss the net. He may pass and get it intercepted. What he's not going to do is kind of sit back and go, ugh, there's a lot of grown people out here and I don't want to play anymore. He's not going to do that.
No.
What he's going to do is he's going to give you everything he has every single shift. He's going to be moving his feet as fast as he can. He's going to be pressuring guys on puck, and he's going to be doing his best to do whatever the coach is asking him to do. And if that is, hey, go out there and try to win a puck battle, win a board battle, don't get beat off walls, okay? If that's what it is that he's asked to do, he's going to go out there and he's going to execute that to the best of his ability. At this point in his development, I don't really care about the outcome so much as the effort. And as long as he's out there pushing as hard as he can to do the things the coach wants, I'm happy. Okay? I'm happy. So whether or not he picks up points, I don't care. But if he's out there buzzing and he's trying to make things happen, whether or not he's executing and whether or not it's working, that's all I'm looking for out of him. And in that sense, I think he's going to be a huge success in his first game.
I think the reason he's not in the lineup is because he's trying too hard and thinking too much. If we go back to last week, Warsawski said as much in his interview, saying, they asked about Misa in his game. And he said, I like some things about his game. That was his quote. I like some things. He's still trying too hard, and he's trying not to make a mistake. And when you try to not make a mistake,
you end up making a mistake.
You're thinking too much, and you're in your own head. He needs to get out of his head. I think what they're doing also is, I thought he was going to actually play in the Ducks game. I thought they were going to put him in, was that last night's game?
Yeah.
They instead put Dickinson in. So I also think they want to spread out that first lap kind of thing for those guys. I mean, they're top 10, or he was 11th. Dickinson was 11th overall. Misa's 2nd overall.
Yeah.
Kind of give them their own kind of special thing so they're not skating out together for their own first night. And give Misa just a little bit more time in the press box. Also, the Sharks played so well against Vegas, they probably assumed, let's stick with the same lineup minus Dickinson and see if we can get a win against Anaheim because it's the same lineup. Now that they lost both those games, I think they're going to change some things up in the lineup just to kind of change it up, really.
Sure.
For changing's sake.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see Misa. Someone said in here the Penguins game, they think they will be in that one.
That would be a good one, the Penguins game. The Penguins are not extremely strong anymore. They do have a very aging core, and it seems like they're going to be one of those teams that's probably going to be selling come trade deadline, I think. So, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get him out there. Also, anytime you get the opportunity to play against Sidney Crosby,
yes,
I think it's a special game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it was one that I think Macklin, the first time he played against Sidney, that was a very special game for him. And he was like, man, his face-offs, the guy's so sick on the face-offs, right? So, yeah, I think it'd be really nice to have to have him jump in there against Sid. Now, I don't know if that's the first game coming up this week, though.
No, that's the third game.
So whether or not that's his first game is the one against Pittsburgh, or if he gets a game prior to that, I don't really care. But it definitely would be nice for him to get the chance to take a face-off against the legend Sidney Crosby, you know. So that would be great. So anyway, I think that's what you're going to get out of Michael Misa. I think you're going to get a lot of really good effort out of him. I do want to say with Warsawski, he had also mentioned that in one of the post games, you know, you can see he's in the right spots. He's trying, right? That was one of the quotes that we had on the show here. So maybe he's trying too hard, or maybe he's in his own head. But the kid is out there in the right spots, and he is trying. So I can appreciate the effort level, and I can appreciate that he's not going to be out there just skating around scared. So very much looking forward to his first lap in Teal. And I do like what you said, that they're going to give him his own opportunity to take his own solo lap, that they give Dickinson the same opportunity. Funny, though, with Macklin and with Will, of course they did it together. Of course they did it together, right? They do everything together, those two. So anyway, good on him. Now, where did we talk about that? The thing we were talking about with Misa is in this next segment coming up here. Was it Shengpeng and San Jose Hockey Now had an opportunity. I don't know if anybody else really had.
It was everybody.
It was everybody.
It was the media. Yeah.
So the one that we read was from San Jose Hockey Now. Right. I apologize to the rest of the media folks, as I'm giving all of the credit to San Jose Hockey Now. But those are the guys that we like to read a little bit more than anybody else. So there was this meeting with Hasso Plattner, and it's, I think, 7 years or so since the last time he talked to anybody in the media or whatever it was. The guy doesn't come out of his shell very often. So to kind of hear what he had to say was nice.
Yeah, he was the CEO of SAP, so big time, busy, from Germany, lived over there. He's now retired, so he has a lot more time to spend. He's going to be at a lot more Sharks games than I think he has in a long time. And he was very candid in this press conference. I'm going to call it a press conference, where he was asked a bunch of questions and talked about a bunch of stuff. And I feel like he almost talked a little too much and said a little too much things that he didn't quite need to say, but did. And it's kind of like, well, it's out there now. So
you know what? I think the fans appreciate it, though.
I like it.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a little bit more inside information coming from an owner, not from, I don't know, a coach or a GM or someone kind of accidentally talking about something. It's an owner. Like,
Like, I and I think most people would appreciate the kind of unfiltered truth, no matter how much it may bug you or whatever it is, as opposed to it being sugar coated. So I can appreciate what he had to say. Anyway.
So one of the first things, or one of the things he said was Hertl wanted to get out of San Jose, and he came to Hasso personally and said, I've been here for 10 years. I've had 3 knee injuries. I don't have much time left. Please get me out of here and get me onto a team.
I cannot lie. It was, a lot less,
Funny, because he said that right after he signed his deal, too, with the Sharks.
And going back to the Vegas game, because now he's on Vegas, he took two penalties, and he got booed in the arena.
Was it 2? I thought it was 3.
He took 2.
Okay, 2.
Right. One was a check to the head.
That was...
And I forget what the other one was. The other one was equally was it boarding?
I thought it was a hit from behind, Yeah,
I think it was boarding. And I forgot who he put into the boards, but he nailed him pretty good. It was obvious. But it was kind of 2 dirty plays by Hertl.
Yeah.
And he warranted the boos. People were upset. Like, what the heck, Hertl?
You kind of never thought that you'd see the day.
Right.
San Jose Sharks fans booing Tomas Hertl.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I could see it happening again is if it's a playoff.
Yeah.
Right? And people are just like, no, you're no longer a Shark. You get out of here.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Super producer Jason wearing his Hertl jersey to the game. I forgot about that.
Anyway,
regretting
that one, buddy.
That was
a little bit.
That was one thing. Another thing I thought was interesting was when the Sharks started trading away people. I want to say Burns went first. Timo was on the team. And that was a big thing. And Hasso said you can't build around a player like Timo. He needs good players around him.
Yeah.
Which at that point he had. Couture was still, I think, kind of hurt. I think he played a little bit. But Karlsson was still on the team, Erik Karlsson. So they still had kind of an all-star player playing with Timo. And that's why Timo, that last season, he scored like all the points, all the goals for the Sharks. And they ended up trading him to New Jersey. But I thought that was kind of interesting. But the one that...
He also had some things to say about Erik Karlsson.
Yes.
Which, I mean, we don't need to go into it, but he wasn't very flattering about Erik Karlsson either. Jeez,
he was like, Erik Karlsson was kind of the last chance that Doug Wilson brought him in to keep that window open for all those players. And he's like, and Erik... I can't remember the quote, but he's like, Erik, he's not a team player.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a very selfish individual player. That's not... The quote was, he's not a very team-friendly player or something like that. So I guess he rubs a lot of people off the wrong way.
He had also, of that era of players, he had also mentioned that it was probably a mistake unloading Pavelski or letting Pavelski walk.
Letting Pavelski walk and also trading Josh Norris.
Yeah, so his quote on the Josh Norris thing was also bringing up the chance to draft Stützle.
Right.
My opinion, if you kept Norris, it doesn't necessarily mean that you would have finished in the same position,
right?
Especially in the draft lottery.
And also,
that ball would have bounced the same way,
right?
And that you would have been able to draft Stützle.
But also remember that how they got Stützle, or that draft pick, is no longer allowed in the NHL,
right?
Because they attached to Karlsson's trade. If Karlsson re-signed with the Sharks, then the Sharks would have to trade the first-round pick for the following season, and it was not top 10 protected.
Right.
It wasn't lottery protected. So they can no longer do that. It's like, if they sign with that team, that's it. Like, you can't attach any kind of secondary thing to it. So that kind of sucks. That stung. That hurt. That did put the Sharks back, though. Because if Josh Norris... Obviously, Stützle is on the team because he's a stud. But Josh Norris is on the team. That kind of takes the place of Pavelski, in my opinion. They're kind of a similar kind of player, center. But he was up and coming and young. Very good.
Yeah.
Obviously very good. But he's also a guy, and I don't know if you know this, he gets hurt every single...
really?
He just got hurt last week, and he's out for a long time. He just started the season, and he's already out for months now. So he hasn't played more than 70 games since the COVID-shortened season in 2020/21. So he is constantly on the IR, so who knows how much he would have actually helped. What's up?
Producer Jason has a Hertl and an EK65
Yes,
jersey.
he does. All right, a couple more quotes here from...
I think he threw the bell.
I think you did.
Ding-a-ding, bang. Anyway, what's the next part of this? We're kind of picking and choosing certain things from that article and his responses. If there's something else you guys would like us that we haven't addressed, or that once we get through all of this, that you want addressed, just let us know.
Did you say something about Doug Wilson?
Yes. I'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get there.
So he was asked about this season if the Sharks are going to be going to the playoffs, right? If they should be pushing for a playoff spot. He said, we should not push them too hard this year. If they do it for whatever good reason, fine, but you cannot push them. Look, some of them are only 18. They're just allowed to drink a beer and laughs.
Yeah.
In Germany, you're allowed to do that, but not in the United States. So, again, on top of that, do you want to take this next one?
Hasso just seems like your fun drunk uncle. Like, honestly, like, he just, like, I don't know.
A true German.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good for him, man. No. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So then they asked about next year, and he said, or this year, he said, no, next year we should be close. With Dickinson fully engaged, Misa being close to the same level as Celebrini. This is the quote that you wanted to talk about.
And this is what I had said, I think, last episode, maybe, where I was saying I feel like Misa is Celebrini light and not, like, so far off, so far away from him. I think Misa, once he kind of gets himself up and running and he gets comfortable in the league, it may take a couple seasons, I don't know. But I don't think it's going to take him too long. He's going to be right in that same conversation, closer than... See, we always talk about, it's not fair to Smith because everybody compares him to Celebrini. I think the closer comparison is going to be Misa and Celebrini.
Yes.
And I think, obviously, they're both going to be centers. I don't think Smith's going to end up playing as a center anymore. I think he's just going to stick to the wing.
Yeah.
And in the odd opportunity to get a draw or something like that, okay, fine. Or if Misa's in the box, or if Celebrini's in the box and you need another guy to center your second line or first line, whatever it is, then fine, Smith will probably end up assuming that role for those 2 minutes or whatever it is, right? So, I don't know. I think with Misa, this is what I was talking about. And Hasso sees it the same way. I think that they are truly going to be almost more like clones of each other, where Celebrini's still going to have that edge on him, but it's going to be so close in terms of the talent level and the production, their ability to work well with other teammates and produce, right? Finding those good plays. This is a guy... that Eklund is going to be able to play with either one of these guys extremely well, right? Eklund's just that type of player. We've seen Eklund and Celebrini play together, and it is gross.
Yes.
And they split them up because it's just too nasty. We don't want people to freak out when they're watching this. But so I think, again...
They're on the power play together.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
So when Misa's out there and he's got Eklund with him or something like that, that one's going to be nasty too. So, I again, for me, Misa is that guy that is... almost Celebrini-esque. He's he will be right there with him.
Can you imagine that 1-2 punch down the
Nasty.
middle? Like, for the other teams coming through, they're like, oh, we got to worry about Celebrini. Defensively, he's going to stop us, right?
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, let's get that second line out. Oh, Misa's out there. Same thing.
And that's just it, like you just said, defensively.
Yeah.
Misa brings the same toolkit that Celebrini brings. He brings supreme offensive prowess with high compete, with aggression, taking the body where he can, separating player from puck, right? But then he's also responsible defensively. Again, you take all those things and you give him some poise and some comfortability at the NHL level, he's not going to be far from Celebrini, and he's going to be very effective. So you're going to have a 1-2 punch down the middle. Doesn't matter what wings you got with them. They're going to be gross for years to come.
Again, the team of the 2030s.
Yes.
The Sharks are going to be the team of the decade of the 2030s. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be great.
And I like that it's not just my thoughts on the matter.
Right.
It's the owner of the team thinking the same thing. And again, he's not just pumping Misa's, just pumping him up just to kind of, say, oh, yeah, no, we're in a good spot, guys. I mean, we already saw how he was very candid about everything else.
Yeah.
No reason to lie about this and say, oh, well, I'm not really sure about me. No, Misa's going to be right there, right?
MJ had also said, and I thought it was interesting, he said he doesn't want to be in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes, which was our next...
That's the next point.
next point
Stop
there.
checking our notes, MJ.
One other thing he said, and it's kind of a negative thing he said, is about Doug Wilson Jr. I don't think he got along with Doug Wilson Jr. He was asked about the prior regime with Doug Wilson and everything, and he said, do you have any, the question was like, do you have any regrets of anything?
Yeah.
And he said, no. He said, but I am negative about his son. He was not drafting well. He was totally over his pay grade, and that was another mistake I probably made. I didn't see that. Ouch. I mean, he's not wrong. He was very young, took over from, he was the head of scouting, I believe, and then moved into the role of, was he actually assistant GM? But he was in charge of drafting.
Yeah.
He was making the decisions on drafting. And this is when Doug Wilson stepped away and he was living in, was it Arizona? He was living, or New Mexico. I can't remember. One of those states. He was living down there. And Doug Wilson Jr. was the one that was making the calls for the drafts for a couple of years. And we just talked about this the last show because the Sharks traded yet another one of those players from those last drafts. I think it was the draft that Eklund was drafted in. And there's almost no players left right now from the Doug Wilson regime.
Yeah.
It's taken about 3 seasons, and they're almost all gone.
Yeah.
Just about all of them.
Well,
Eklund won't
some
go
of them
anywhere, but
are gone because they never made it.
Exactly. That's my point.
And
Like,
then-
they just did not pan out.
Well, and the rest of them, they're just, these aren't our guys. And
Right.
you're shipping them out, So
But I mean,
either
they're
you
not-
didn't make it or you're gone because we don't need you.
But even the guys that they shipped out are still not in the NHL.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like they traded anyone and they regret it.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like they turned into some star player on another team because they didn't have the
The
opportunity.
only one that fits that bill is what, Norris, I guess? But even then, like you
Yeah.
said, he's out.
But that's not like Mike Greer traded him away. All those trades that Mike Greer's traded,
Yeah,
none of
yeah.
those-
That's true. My bad.
None of
Yeah.
those guys
Yeah.
have. Even Timo Meyer hasn't been what he was when he was in San Jose. Hurdle, same thing. They're different.
To Hasso's point about Timo Meyer.
Right. Well, but they're different players on those teams because they don't need to be the stars. When they were on the Sharks, there was no star power. They were the stars, right? So they were the only ones that were able to produce.
Yeah.
But going to those other teams, they have a top line already.
Yeah.
They're on the second line, or their role changed. Both of them, Hurdle and Meyer, were asked to be more of a defensive role.
Yeah.
Be more defensive minded. We don't need the offense because we already have these top lines. You do your thing in the defensive zone. That's why we got you. That's why we wanted you. We need you to lock these guys down. Don't worry about the points, which is why they're not getting as many points. But my point, all of those guys, Doug Wilson Jr. kind of drafted,
Yeah.
are just about gone now at this point. Bordelot was touted as the next greatest thing,
And
right?
we saw. I remember from shows past us saying, "Man, we thought Doug Wilson Jr. was doing good job with drafting," but that was like right after the draft, or showing the promise of these younger guys in like the AHL, for instance, Bordelot, as you said, right? But time is kind of the ultimate decider on that one, right? Whether or not someone's done a good job or not.
Right.
And when you got nobody left from that era. Yeah, you didn't draft very well.
They also drafted a lot of smaller guys.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
all very small. Just about all of them. So, I mean, even Eklund. Eklund's not a big guy.
5'11", I think, though.
Yeah, but that's not big. That's not. It's not, Mike Greer, you got to be 6'4", you're not here. Almost every guy he drafts is over
you must
6'4".
be 6 feet tall to play the Sharks or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This guy, he
Was
knows.
6'7"?
Him? I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hauschie might have been 6'7",
Okay.
6'6". I forget. Doesn't matter.
Darren might be 6'6".
Anyway, so yeah, that's he kind of slammed Doug Wilson Jr. and the previous regime, if you will, for their inability to draft properly.
I believe
Got beat off
Doug
walls.
I believe Doug Wilson Jr. is in the Seattle organization as a scout.
Okay.
So he went from
He was
head
in
of-
Pittsburgh, wasn't he?
Was it? No, Doug Wilson Sr. went to Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Doug Wilson
Junior.
Jr. went to Seattle
think
as a
you're right.
scout. So he went from scout to head scout to drafting to scout.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You take what you can get,
Right.
and that's what he can get. So, good for him.
Right. That's fine.
I'm happy with the way the Sharks have been drafting recently, though. That is the difference.
They're hitting on
That is
so
the difference.
much.
They've hit on a lot of their draft picks, and I don't just mean
The
you know,
top
having
end
the
ones.
first overall
Right.
and the second overall and the fourth overall and the 11th overall, right? It's not just about
Yeah.
that. Cats and Rats Florida Panthers Hockey Podcast is cool set. Hey, thank you for stopping in. Very clearly, you are not a Sharks fan, and we appreciate you being in here checking us out. We do this all the time with other folks that have dropped in here before. We've seen St. Louis Blues fans back in the days when we were making playoffs, which is a very long time ago. But we have other teams, folks dropping in here, sometimes making fun of us a little bit. That's okay. We hope you enjoy the set and maybe take some notes. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate that. But Aaron, I guess we'll go ahead and move on from this, unless there was anything else on the Hasso side of things.
No, that was kind of it. I mean, there's some other tidbits in there.
The no McKenna thing. We said it, but
Yeah.
we didn't really address it. So essentially what he's saying is, no, we're not trying to tank to get McKenna. We don't need McKenna. And I like this move, frankly. I don't think that we need to have... There's only so many superstars you need to have in a team, and then it starts getting a bit of a logjam, and everybody's trying to be the man. We saw this on the blue line.
Yeah.
With Erik Karlsson and Brent Burns, and we both thought, man, this is going to be fantastic, right? They're just going to dominate. Doesn't matter. You've got Brent Burns out there. They changed the lines. You got Erik Karlsson out there. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. And then it didn't work out. And a lot of it had to do with there's too much star power. They both wanted to be number one.
Yeah.
And so they end up kind of fighting over it, and it just didn't work out.
I mean, the Sharks' hole right now is on the defense, on the blue line.
Yeah.
Currently. Like, they need to get a stud right-handed shot defenseman. That could be in the top line pairing.
Yeah.
And once they get to that blue chip prospect,
That's over.
There's a blue chip prospect in every single position.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's kind of lacking right
Yeah.
now. And this upcoming draft, it's not like the top guy's a right-handed shot, but there's a handful of them in the top 10.
Yeah.
And that's probably where the Sharks are going to go around the top 10.
You're going to
somewhere.
fulfill that need, and then we just talked about Polkamp.
Yeah.
I mean, he's coming. He's coming. It's a matter of one season, right? And
Right.
he's coming.
He's not top line, though. I would say he's top
But
4.
you need to have 6.
Right.
Right.
No,
you need 6.
He's not the stud guy that I'm talking about.
Hey.
He's a good player.
Hey, if he's not your stud, I'm happy.
Yeah.
If
that's
he's
my point.
not your stud, we're in really good shoes.
Even Dickinson
Ace.
isn't that guy.
Yeah.
Dickinson's going to be a very good defenseman, but he's not that stud
All right.
player.
All right. No, I love it. I love what I'm hearing. And I like this one here. Wiggly Charming says Mike Greer's going to get that guy in the upcoming draft, just as you said.
Mike Greer likely going to BPA and will trade for D-Man if needed. Going to BPA.
I don't know BPA, but I do have to say
I know
that, yes, we don't have to draft everybody.
Right.
It's very simple.
They're getting to the point where so many guys are hitting that now there's look how many contracts there
Yeah.
are, right? There's a logjam in certain positions, and other teams don't have the prospects the Sharks have, and they're going to trade them for established players.
Buddy,
That's the next step.
we've got at least 5 1 year left on their contract defensemen, veteran defensemen. Okay, we've got max 3, 4, maybe 3 young guns that'll be filling those roster spots in Dickinson, Mukmadulin, +1. So maybe it's Luka. Maybe Polkamp has a fantastic year out in Denver, or I think it's in Denver, and he comes back and he's just ready to rock as like a bottom pairing defenseman or whatever. Maybe.
I already forgot, and I just looked at this.
Oh, boy.
There's 2 first-round draft picks again this upcoming draft for the
That's
Sharks.
right.
They have their own, and they have the Edmonton Oilers.
Package and move up.
Now,
buddy.
we want the Edmonton Oilers to fail
Yes,
so that
hard.
that's a better draft pick and don't go to the finals. But they also have the Colorado Avalanche second-round draft pick and their own second-round draft pick.
the only way the Oilers go down that low and are that bad is if McDavid and Draisaitl get hurt. And I'm not saying that I wish for McDavid and Draisaitl to get hurt, but anyway, no McKenna, essentially, is what he was saying.
Yes.
We're not going after that guy, and I can appreciate that.
Right.
There you go. Moving on from the Hasso Plattner news, going to some sad news. Somebody had put this earlier in the chat. Friend of the show,
Yes.
Jack Thompson, waived today by the San Jose Sharks. Now,
We knew it was coming.
we didn't know it was coming. My thought was either it's coming or you're going to end up, which they're not going to do this, pushing Colin Graff down because he's waiver exempt. He's doing too good in the NHL, or he looks too good in the NHL, I should say. But more realistically, what I thought was going to happen was taking one of the numerous defensemen that we have on the NHL roster right now and getting a trade going with them. Now, if there's any team that has a defenseman that just took a fall in preseason and are looking for a guy, we can offer that and still have Jack Thompson come off of IR and we're good. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Jack Thompson does get waived to end up on the Barracuda if nobody else picks him up. Now, why now and not why the beginning of the season? My gut tells me they were waiting to see or they're just getting those 2 games out of the way. Other teams start their roster. We're set. We like what we have. Okay, cool. Now we'll put him on waivers, right? As opposed to, we're not really sure. We're still kind of figuring out our opening night lineup. Oh, Jack Thompson's available. Let's grab him just in case.
Maybe he actually was hurt and he had to go on the IR for a little bit. And then, because last season, Chernyshov was actually on the roster for opening night on IR. So he was on IR, and then as soon as he cleared, they sent him back to his team. So it might have to do with like a medical treatment. I don't know. But yes, I think they were... I agree. I think they were waiting. You always want to push to see, because you never know what could happen. Yeah. What if somebody got hurt in those 2 games? What if Klingberg got hurt, right? Because he was dealing with a concussion last week. Maybe you would have that again. He's going to go on IR. Now you need a right-handed shot defenseman to come in. Voila. Jack Thompson magically healed and ready to go.
I want to go back to something real quick. Dan Moore had just said Oilers pick is top 12 protected, by the way. So even if they miss playoffs... it's not going to be an incredibly high pick, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be an incredibly high pick. What I was saying was you could package it. So even if it's protected and it's the 13th, you could still package it.
I wasn't expecting
even higher up.
But, and I wasn't expecting a top 10. I was expecting something like 20 instead of 32.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my point.
Yes. So I just wanted to address that one there. Right. But okay, so I think that's all we want to say there. Jack Thompson. Anything else you want to say about Jack Thompson?
No, that's. I mean,
hope he doesn't get picked.
Yeah, we'll know tomorrow.
Yeah,
like we'll know by, I think it's tomorrow by 12 p.m. or something, maybe a little earlier.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't get snagged. It's not often we have players as friends of the show, so I'd like to keep him around. Good dude. Love doing the interview with him. If you haven't seen that interview, check out our interviews. It was with Jack Thompson, Henry Thrun at the time, who is gone unfortunately, and Colin Graff. So a pretty fun little interview that we had with them, and obviously thank you to the Sharks for allowing us to do that. But with Jack, I hope that he remains a Shark, or I guess in this case a Barracuda. I think he's a pretty solid player. He has some upside. He just needs a little bit more time, and I hope that he gets that time in Teal as opposed to getting plucked by some other team. So there you go. Okay, Moving on from the Jack Thompson news, we do have some Barracuda tickets. Now, I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do this, but I would like to give these tickets away. Now, it just says one free ticket like that, okay? And it says on the bottom here, I'll read it out to you because I need to see the other side of this. It says on the bottom that it is redeem at TechCU Arena box office day of. Okay, so you basically bring this and you're able to redeem them for tickets at the box office. Now, what I'd like to do is give these away. I don't know exactly how we want to do this. Maybe if we just get people to email us, which would be thefinfactor@gmail.com. It's not going to be the first person to email us.
What's the date on this?
But if you... Okay. The date is October 22nd. It's
a Wednesday.
2025. That is a Wednesday.
7 p.m. game? 6 p.m.?
Unfortunately, it does not say the time on here. I'm sure you're looking that up right now because you are very astute at doing these things. So anyway, what I want to do is I want to offer these to you guys, okay? And actually, I picked these up at Pure Hockey. They had them out there. I thought I was going to be able to go to the game. I'm not going to be able to, but if I can pass these on to you guys and you can actually use them, awesome. So
7 p.m. start.
7 p.m. start, as I kind of figured it would be being a Wednesday. So 7 p.m., October 22nd, and it's against the Coachella Valley Firebirds. If you can use these tickets, I have 4. Please send an email to thefinfactor@gmail.com, and we will see however many people are asking us about it, and we'll do essentially kind of like a little bit of a off-screen raffle kind of thing.
We'll do 2 pairs.
We could do 2 pairs, or if you've got a use for all 4,
we'll do 2 pairs.
We'll do 2 pairs. Okay.
2 giveaways.
Aaron says we'll do 2 pairs.
Why
there
not?
you go. I don't know why not. Anyway, so we'll essentially what we'll do is we'll pick a winner or multiple winners, and then we'll let you guys know if you did win. We're gonna do that off screen and not try to make sure to prove to anybody anything. Thank you for that, Vinny Darnay. But yes, if you're interested in that, please send us an email. Say I'm very interested in the free Barracuda tickets.
I don't want to hear about freaking Fragile, okay?
And I don't want to hear about freaking Fragile in your email, so don't even think about typing to me about it. Okay, Aaron. Upcoming games for the Sharks, not for the Barracuda. Yes. Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Tuesday is against Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes.
Friday against the Utah, not hockey club, Mammoth. There you go.
And in Utah. It's an away game.
Oh, it's in Utah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, but it's
Yep.
against them.
Right.
Okay, and then Saturday is another
Back
home
home.
game. Then
Yes.
is, against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
Led by, of course, Sidney Crosby, who I'm supposed to hate, but I can't help but admire the guy a little bit. Watching him kind of after he beat the Sharks, right? You just kind of appreciate the hustle. You appreciate the hard work, and you can see where Macklin's trajectory is based off of comparing him and his work ethic to that of Sid, the no longer kid, Crosby. So I can appreciate the way he plays the game. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway.
I'll appreciate it when he retires.
Okay, wow. Just like that, huh?
Him and Malkin.
Him and Malkin, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
I'll appreciate you when you're gone.
Yes.
Okay, Aaron, Tuesday, Carolina. Talk to me. What do you think?
This one's going to be tough. I'm no longer a Carolina Hurricanes fan because Brent Burns is no longer on the team. So I hope the Sharks can take them down. But Carolina is a very good, very well-coached team with Rod the Bod, Brindamore. And I think this is going to be a tough game. Carolina is one of the Cup favorites going into the season. So, again, it's kind of like playing Vegas, kind of like playing Colorado. Coming out of the East, that is going to be a tough game.
Sorry, I have to stop you. Nick B says, how do we know you won't rig the ticket lottery like you rigged AA Ron's fantasy draft lottery? You guys saw me draw the names out of the cup. I can't help it that he ended up with the second overall pick. I was trying mentally, using my mental powers to try to grab his ticket, and I couldn't do it.
Nick can't complain because he refused to play.
Oh, okay.
He did not want to play in fantasy hockey, so you get no say, Nick. Shut your mouth.
Okay, anyway, Tuesday, Carolina, done.
Yes.
Friday, at Utah.
Utah is a team that is up and coming.
Mm-hmm.
They are, at that point, they're going to be a playoff team. They're going to be coming out of the Pacific Division. Actually, they're not. Are they in the Pacific? I can't even remember. They're going to be coming out and being one of the teams that's going to be in the playoff team. So
Okay.
I think, with Calder and a couple other guys that are on their team, they are very, very good. Vimelka.
You got it, yeah.
Veggie.
Oh, I can't lie, it was, a lot last, month, and
They traded away their backup, and he is the number one goalie, and he's a very good goalie. So I think Utah is kind of getting a little bit more solidified. That's going to be a tough game. But this is the game last season that the Sharks went into. I don't know if you remember this. Their first win of the season was against them in Utah.
Okay.
They were losing 4-1 going into the third period, and the Sharks stormed back and scored to tie it and went to overtime and won in overtime. You don't remember that game, do you?
I don't remember.
That was the first win of the season.
Fantastic,
I
though.
remember it so well because it
Okay.
was like right before the second period ended, they scored to make it 4-1. I'm like, here we go again. Sharks are going to be another 15-game losing streak. Who knows? At that point, it was game number 10.
Yeah.
And they ended up scoring 3 goals in the third period, tying it up, and winning it in overtime. So I was stoked. And that was before Celebrini had come back because he was injured last season. So they did it without Celebrini. I think the Sharks have a good chance of winning this game. The problem is they're going to have a better chance against Pittsburgh, but now they're going to have to travel home and play them at home on a back-to-back. So that's going to be a tough game on
Utah's
Saturday.
not that far, though.
No, but just the whole wear and tear of a doubleheader.
Sure.
But traveling on top of the doubleheader,
Don't forget, they've got 8 defensemen to work with, so
That's
they
true.
could always replace a couple guys that are banged up pretty easily. So.
Got beat off walls.
Yeah, and even if they got beat off walls, it's okay. So.
Well, it is nice that they're coming home and not going like the opposite,
Right.
Because then they can call guys up from the Barracuda and they're right there in San Jose.
Absolutely. And speaking of coming home, again, against the Pittsburgh Penguins, talk to me about this one here. I don't think that they have as much punch as they used to, obviously, right?
Yes and no.
Oh.
Because they are currently... Where are they? They're somewhere over here. I think they're undefeated right now.
Are they really?
Yeah. Where's Pittsburgh? I'm
I
sorting
don't know.
about
You
PK.
scrolled past them like 4 times, though.
Did I?
Yeah, you
Couldn't
did.
find them. They're right here. There are 2 wins and 1 loss. Okay, 2 wins, 1 loss.
There you go.
I thought there were 3 now. But better than what we thought they were going to be.
Okay.
So, the Sharks are too, I guess, if you think about it.
I mean, yeah, the Sharks. Okay, so
No
against-
regulation losses.
We should have lost by the statistics. We should have lost to Vegas.
We should be 1-1, right?
I mean,
They should have 2 points, and we should be 1-1.
Are you saying the win against the Ducks? We should have beat the Ducks. Is that
That's
what
I'm saying. Like, if you look on paper,
Yeah.
you'd be okay. Losing to Vegas, that's 1 loss. Gonna beat Anaheim, that's 1 win. We should be 1-1 with 2 points.
I could understand an 1-1. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're not so far beyond the Ducks or anything, so
Right.
I can imagine that one being considered a tie. And then we should have lost against Vegas by the stats and by the predictions and the numbers and everything else. But as far as I'm concerned, we should be 2-0 right now. So if Pittsburgh happen to, play a couple of good games, good on them. And I'm looking forward to Macklin Celebrini going head to head with kind of his, I don't know if you want to say like not mentor necessarily, but like maybe the guy that he kind of looks up to and models his game after a little bit,
Role model.
Role model. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. So maybe kind of going up against that role model again, and he's aged a little bit more, and he's got a little bit more experience now. Maybe it's starting to shift just a little bit, and he gets the better of the old guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Do we see Misa in one of these games?
Yes.
Which one?
I don't care. All of them.
think-
Every single game.
I don't know. I'm gonna go out there and say he's playing against Carolina on Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that.
Carolina. Yeah, I think based off of what the chat was saying in terms of keeping the kids out for kind of those heavier games where, maybe you don't want to have Dickinson going in against Vegas and gets pounded or something like that. Maybe Carolina is one of those teams. I don't know in terms of how good they are and how aggressive they are. Do you really want him to be in against that group? I don't know. Utah's got some younger guys, like you said, Clayton Keller. He's not exactly super young anymore, but I mean, he's still on the younger side. And maybe Misa matches up a little bit better with those guys who are a little bit on that side. I don't know. Now, if his first game is against Sidney Crosby, jitters, right? He's going to have butterflies. So I think you get him a game before the Pittsburgh game, but I hope he gets a chance to play against Pittsburgh.
So I think what they'll do is they'll have. I don't think either of them will play back-to-back, Dickinson or Misa.
Okay.
Because they have the back-to-back of Utah and Pittsburgh. I think maybe they swap out Dickinson for the next game, put Madulin back in against Carolina, bring in Misa. Then they go into Utah, maybe swap and put Dickinson in. Or maybe not. Maybe they stick with Madulin, and then the Pittsburgh game, they swap and put
Misa.
Dickinson in.
Oh, okay.
And Misa plays one of those two.
Okay. I think Misa gets 2 games this
That's
week.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not the back-to-back.
We'll just put it
He'll get
that
one
way.
of those,
We'll
yeah.
put it that way. We'll say I think Misa gets 2 games this week, and if it's not the back-to-back, that means that it's going to be
Right.
not the Utah game essentially.
And just a reminder, both of those guys, Misa and Dickinson, are eligible to have their contracts slide a year. So what that
9
means,
games.
they get after 9 games. If they play more than 9 games,
Yeah.
so if they play their 10th game, that means they're sticking for the year. They're not going to be sent back, most likely. They could still be sent back, but then they burn a whole year of their contract. So by sliding your contract, what that means is if you play 9 games or less, they can say, okay, after your 9th game, we're going to send you back to your OHL team. Now your 3-year entry-level contract will actually start next season. So they get kind of a 4th bonus year, kind of a year, I guess. So they only play 9 games, right? So their contract doesn't start, which also delays when their next contract starts.
Yeah.
Which is where they're actually going to get paid decent money. That's what we just saw. Eklund just signed his entry-level contract, just finished, and his extension was he was available to get an extension, which kicks in after this season. So this is his last year of his entry-level contract, which is crazy because I feel like he's been on this team forever because he started off and they slid his contract for 1 year. So it's kind of the same feeling, right? Like it feels like, man, I can't believe that boy has not been paid yet, but he just got his money. It's coming next season. So anyway, it kind of spreads things out, helps with the salary cap. Down the road because at that point they're going to be paying Celebrini and Smith before they start paying these guys. So then we'll see what Greer can do and work with his magic.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think we'll see a game for Misa this week, at least one.
Okay. Yeah, I like what Dan here says. I really hope they swap out Lady to put Mook back in, and Misa and Dickinson both play twice this week. I would love to see them both play twice this week. I think I might be with Aaron on this one, though. Like, one goes in, one comes out. So maybe that means Dickinson only gets the 1 game. But I do think Misa gets 2. I think Misa gets 2 this week. And, again, I hope one of the 2 is against the Penguins and against getting the opportunity to play against Sidney Crosby.
And Malkin, too. I mean, that's a 1-2
yeah,
punch right
but,
there, right?
I mean, I think, come on. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's like
Sidney.
two guys,
Yeah.
right? That were like superstar players
Yeah.
back in the day, and they grew up with posters on their wall of these kids, or these guys. So,
I think play style wise, you want to model your game after Sid.
well, yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But I'm
no,
just saying,
it's-
like, it's two stars.
yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Two all-star players,
Absolutely.
superstar players
Yeah.
on the same team, and you're playing against them.
Playing against two future All Stars, I think. There you go. So, I guess with that, there's not much else to say. Aaron, was there anything in the chat there that you wanted to call out here?
Dan Moore did say on paper Anaheim was winnable, but not a given. Looking at the schedule, I wouldn't have been surprised if they were 0-2 right now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. But like the way that they played the game, we should be 2-0. We were right there in both of those games. Anyway, anything else?
No. MJ is going to be at the Pens game, and he hopes Misa plays in that one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, cool. You're going to be there. Sweet.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to those games? Any of them?
Wasn't planning. No, I can't go this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm busy this weekend.
I am also busy. And you know what? This is exactly the reason why I ask you guys to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, is because we're trying to do Sunday shows, but there are going to be times where I'm traveling with my kids doing tournaments or whatever else, and I'm not going to be able to be here on a Sunday. And we don't really know when that's going to happen exactly, so we try to push it out to you guys when that's going to happen. Sometimes we're on a Tuesday. So if we don't even know, then how are you going to know? The only way is to be subscribed. Hit the notification bell to get the alert. You'll know when we're going live, and then you can reach out to your stretch friends and family for us and get them in the chat as well and have a really good time, I think. So please do that. And if you like the show, please hit that like button. It goes a long way. Do appreciate you guys doing that. The algorithm helps us out and everything. If you'd like to support the show, you could do that in numerous ways. One, super chat function, or the, Venmo. And either one there, if you put a comment in there, we'll read it out loud on the show, or probably the next show if you do it at this point. But that's one good way to support the show. The other way you could do that is by going to thefinfactor.com. Check out any of the merch we have for sale: hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, custom shoelaces, all that kind of stuff. So if you can check out that would be awesome, and we would appreciate it. And you get something in return for supporting the show. Aaron, there's
beat
another
off walls.
Or beat off walls too. Aaron, there's another way people can support the show, which we already said, but say it again.
You can become a member. Go to our homepage on YouTube, and you can click to join our channel page and become a member, which we are going to start doing some exclusive stuff just for members, including opening up packs of cards for members as giveaways.
There you go. As far as other things we're doing for members, we did find out, and it may not happen sooner than later, but we did find out that there's something about after a show like this ends that we can have members stick around for a little bit longer. So maybe we'll start doing stuff like that where you guys as members can be a part of kind of like an after show. And if you're interested in that, please let us know in the comments down below, and that's maybe something we'll start preparing for. Other than that, again, send a email to thefinfactor@gmail.com if you are interested in going to the Barracuda game against the Coachella Valley Firebirds on October 22nd, because that is a Wednesday, and it's at 7 p.m., and we have some tickets to give out. So please let us know. That is all that I have to say. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. For Super Producer Jason, I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And that was Vinny Darnay, and we will see you guys
Next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts.